Hello everybody, welcome back to my modern homestead. If you are new here, my name is Janet and I'm so glad you came and joined us. We are still trying to use up some of our ingredients from our grocery haul. It's a few videos back if you wanted to watch it. I didn't get it out. This is some we're giving to the chickens. Today we are featuring the bok choy. I have never in my life used bok choy before today, and I've almost waited too long because it is getting super limp. But I tried it earlier. It's fine. It will be fine because we are putting it in a soup. I don't know what to call this soup. I guess I'm just going to call it chicken and bok choy soup or chicken soup with an Asian flair. I don't know. You guys help me out. What would you call it? It is only going to take just a very few minutes. I've already got some cooked chicken that I had in my freezer. This is another thing we've got to work on. I've got to get my freezers cleaned out. We're going to use about half of these mushrooms, not all of them. And one ingredient that I wanted to use that our local store did not have is fish sauce. So I'm going to have to use clam juice. I don't know how that's going to work, but we're going to try it. We're also going to use some of the garlic we got in the haul. And I think that's all of our haul ingredients unless I decide to throw in a few onions just for the flavor of it. I don't know. So anyway, you guys, what we're going to do first is just prep all these ingredients and throw them in the pot. And it's going to be so super quick and so super easy. Let's go. Alright, let's start getting in the ingredients that do not have to be prepared. This is our chicken that has been cooked in bone broth. If it was just the children and I would probably just use about half of this. It doesn't work out. But my husband is home, so I'm going to use about 3/4 of it. Then we're going to add in 2 30-ounce cartons of chicken broth. We're going to put in about a tablespoon of soy sauce. I may add a little extra in because this is actually going to make a little more than I had planned on to begin with. Then we will add in 1.5 tablespoons of sesame oil. Okay, I think this was actually supposed to be 1 teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoons of sesame oil, so I'm only going to do a tablespoon. Just to be on the safe side. We can add more, but we can't take it out. All right, and then our fish sauce, I wanted to add 2 teaspoons. I don't have the fish sauce like I just told you, so we're going to add this clam sauce. I'm just going to do about a tablespoon. Again, we can add more, but we can't take any out. All right. And that is it for everything that does not need to be prepped. Well, nope, I just told you a story. I forgot, I'm going to add rice to mine. So y'all are going to think I'm super crazy. But guys, this only needs 10 minutes to cook. So I'm using this bowl and a bag rice. That's exactly how long it needs. And for all of us, I only wanted to use 1 bag. But my husband is at home and he's a big eater, so what I'm going to do is keep this rice in the bag so that way he can add more to his soup if he wants it. So I know this is crazy, I know, but we're just going to put it in the pot. Now I may need to add a little more water to this, and if I do, I'm going to add a little bit of this beef broth. I'm getting all tongue-tied. Broth base and seasoning in the chicken flavor by Orrington Farms. I really like this one. What ingredient? Hold on. All right. Now we want to add in about 1 teaspoon, maybe a little less. Yeah, that looks good. That is crushed red pepper flakes. Just a little bit of spice. You don't want this to be a hot soup. All right. So that's all of the things that do not need to be prepared. So let's move this so we can get to our cutting board and get to chopping the rest. All right, did y'all see the last video or one of the last videos where we chopped up the garlic? We do this the same way. Just smash it and it comes right out of the peels. So let's get these peeled and we'll chop them. All right, there we go. All 3 cloves are chopped. And again, guys, this is preference. If you don't want to use 3, that's fine. If you want to use more, that's fine. And I did look at one recipe as an inspiration, and in theirs they said chop garlic. They didn't say how to chop it. I don't think we want really big chunks, but just get it chopped. Okay, I would rather have mine closer. Oops, got a big chunk on the back of that knife. I hate when that happens. I would rather have mine in minced sized chunks than big chunks. And you bite down on a big hunk of garlic. So, let's get this in the trash and get this in garlic in the pot. All right, into the pot. Try to not get it on top of that bag of rice. Here we go. Let's get our mushrooms ready. All right, here are our mushrooms, and we're just gonna slice these thinly. Don't have to be real neat or picky about it, just slice them up. And toss them in the pot. Now my children do not like mushrooms, but my husband and I do. And for the flavor I'm going for, I need the mushrooms. So if you don't like mushrooms, you can always take them out, but I wouldn't leave them out to actually cook it. Not all the way. Maybe add them at the end so they're easier to pick out. I don't know. Whatever floats your boat will be just fine. Okay guys, I cook by sight a lot of times, and I think that's all we're going to use. We might add one more, but not many. All right, the main ingredient is our bok choy. I'm going to take a few stalks and rinse them, and then we'll chop them up. All right, for this, I'm actually going to use the green parts, even though they're starting to really wilt on me. They're going in a soup anyway, and we want them wilted. They're not slimy, they're not bad, they're just past their prime. I just take it all. I'm going to split these bigger pieces of bok choy down the middle and just keep slicing. These ends will go to the chickens. Ooh, can y'all see this? Watch out, mushrooms. Yum. Into the pot. All right, now back here you can probably see I have bean sprouts. I think I'm going to add these at the end. I've never cooked with bean sprouts. And French onions. We will use this to top the soup. Also at the end, we'll add a little bit of lime juice just to brighten this up. So, there we go. All right, there it is all put together. Y'all, I wish you could smell this. My aunt, her name is Song, and she is from Korea, and she makes a cabbage dish, It's a soup, but it has the mushrooms and cabbage and the red pepper flakes and the broth. It is one of the best things in the world. If I had to pick a favorite dish of all time, it would be that dish. And this smells so much like it. I'm so excited. I can't wait for this to get done. So what we're going to do is sit this on the stove. Here we go. Oh, goodness, y'all, that smells so good. I know I've said it, but I can't help it. It just smells good. All right, we're going to turn this on to a medium-high heat. Bring it up to a boil, and we'll let it boil for 10 minutes. And that is it, guys. That easy. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. Make sure you give this a good stir a couple of times, especially since we got that big old bag of rice in there. Who cooks soup with the bag of rice in it? I do. Y'all, please make me feel better. Tell me something crazy y'all do in the kitchen. Okay, after stirring this around, I know it's going to need more water because that consistency is really thick and that rice is going to absorb a lot of water. And we may need to adjust the soy sauce and the clam juice and what else? The sesame oil. But we don't have a recipe for this anyway, so that's okay. If we need to add more, we will. I'm not quite sure about the salt. We'll have to check on that at the end too. Oh my goodness. Okay, now remember, I have big appetites to fill, so I did cheat and buy a bag of frozen yeast dinner rolls. So I've got the oven heating to 350 degrees, and just in case you were wondering how much water I used, I got my measuring cup dirty. It was about 3.5 cups. This is almost to a boil. I'm so excited. Look how pretty. It reminds me of miso soup. All right, we are at a boil, so we're going to set the timer for 10 minutes, and I'm going to turn it down just a little bit so it's not boiling quite so hard. This stove is crazy. So there we go. We'll be back when it's done. I'm about to pop the yeast rolls in the oven, so they should be done at about the same time. All right, let's get these in the oven. All right. I'll just turn the oven off. We're going to pull out this bag of rice. Let it drain a little, and then I have a bowl behind the soup pan that I will put it in. Oops. And whatever drains I will add back into the pot of soup. Now I have a lime that I've cut in half, and I'm not going to use much, just enough to brighten it. Give me just a second. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Just squeeze. I don't want much. There we go. And I couldn't do it holding the camera. Excuse me, a pepper flake got stuck in my throat and it's burning and tickling. But I squeezed in just a hair more lime juice, and I tasted it, and it was a little salty, so I added in an additional 1 1/4 cup of water. But you guys, this is so good. Now this time, I'm going to get it in a bowl, and I'm going to show you the finished product. I won't forget this time. Come on, please. Ready? Okay, we're going to top this with a few bean sprouts. Oops, let me put that in. Alrighty. And then just a few fried onions. I am so excited. I cannot believe this came out of my kitchen. And there we go. We have our soup. You guys, I hope you try this. I promise it is really good. Even if you don't like mushrooms, remember you can pull those out. You don't have to actually eat them, but you need them for the flavor. So until we meet again, may you be blessed. Love you guys. Thank you for joining me.